Guys, a quick video today talking about the exposure lock on DJI Fly 1.4.3. I've had a lot of questions on this, so hopefully this video will answer those questions for you. Alright, so let's get that drone in the air. So DJI Fly 1.4.3 has been released. The way you lock your exposure did change on one of the older DJI Fly updates, which we did talk about, but I'm just going to go through it today. So at the moment, I've just got it on Pro mode, as you can see in the bottom right hand corner. So in Pro mode, you don't have any exposure lock at all. You actually sort your exposure out yourself manually in the settings. Just before I proceed, let me just change this gimbal calibration again. Who is having issues like this still? Because I certainly am, and I've tried this on a couple now of DJI Mini 2s. I'm still getting the same issue, and I know quite a few of you are as well, so I'm really hoping on the next firmware update we can have some sort of resolution to this. So as we're saying, so in Pro mode, you sort it yourself in the exposure value. In Auto, what you have here, and you look in that bottom right hand corner, where it says EV 0.0 for me there, that is where you're going to be able to change your exposure value manually, or you can also still click on that screen. So you can change the FPS and it tells you about the storage and other two icons, but that's about it. You don't get a lot of different options in Auto. So if you just click on that exposure value there, now if you actually change it, you can push it all the way down, minus and plus, and you can change that exposure value to what you need that to be. So if it's a really bright day, you might need to push that exposure down. If it's quite a dull dark day, you might need to turn that exposure up. This is in Auto, and this is one of the limitations with being in Auto, is you've not got full controls over that camera and that image. But I will go through it today because I know quite a few of you still use Auto, and that's absolutely fine. But whenever you set it to say like this, 1.7, even if I actually turn that drone around and face directly into the sun, nothing is changing, it's still staying at 1.7. So that is auto locking it anyway, that exposure value at what I'm setting it at. So wherever I turn that drone, nothing is changing on that image, it's still minus 1.7. What you can also do is right in the center of the frame, you can actually press the screen once and then you'll get a yellow box. That's what happens when you press it once, this yellow box comes up. If you double tap the screen, nothing will happen, you'll still have that yellow box. So when that yellow box comes up, if you then press and hold, you'll get the auto exposure locked icon that comes up as well. So that is now locked, that exposure. So as I'm now turning around, as you can see, that's got it locked to the exposure value at 0.0. To unlock it, you just press it again and then hold down, and then you'll see that now that icon has gone off, and then we can change it to whatever we wish. So if we want to actually push it up to +1 or +1.3, so it's at +1 there, so it's really overexposed, press on that screen, hold down, and then that auto exposure locks will come on. But I've tested this in quite a few different scenarios, and by spinning the drone around either in Auto by holding it down like this, or by actually just moving that slider, it's still going to stay the same. So you don't really need to be pressing and holding this screen, you can do it just manually just by moving that slider. But just try experimenting in Pro mode with the manual settings, especially by putting an ND filter on. You're going to have much more options and able to customize your image to look the best. So I've switched it over to Pro mode. I can see a little boat in the sea over there. So let's now head over to that boat and then show you the difference in Pro mode. If that's you in that boat, make sure you comment down below. That'd be amazing if it is. But yes, Pro mode with an ND filter on, you're going to have such more flexibility and getting a great shot. I just love it. There's a Pro mode video I did all about this, but go and experiment, you won't be disappointed. So I hope you found that helpful, guys. Exposure lock is still there in Auto, two ways of doing it, but go and practice in Pro mode. ND filters are essential, so pick up some ND filters. The ones I use are linked, and then you won't be disappointed and you're going to get the best footage possible out of this drone.